everybody, I'm Shenae Beech and welcome back to my channel. Today it is a little darker in here than usual. I normally like to keep things quite bright, but I wanted to take it down a notch so I could show you what's really going on my face, because today I am walking you through 10 tricks that will help you look younger and more awake. Lord knows this mama needs it. This tutorial is definitely not just for moms, but I do feel like I often speak from the voice of a mom because I am one to an 11-month-old baby girl, so I have got the bags to prove that this tutorial works. I'm also turning 30 this year, so I will take any and all tips and tricks to help me look and feel younger. Before I get into my 10 tricks, I'm actually gonna give you a little bonus tip, and that is using a primer that you love. I clearly love this one so much there's like nothing left in it. Finding a good primer is gonna help you look younger because it's going to keep all of that makeup from creasing under your eyes and any wrinkly areas on the face. We want everything to have a really smooth canvas, so primer is very important. It's also gonna help you look more awake throughout the day because it's gonna keep everything in place, helping you to conceal all of those giveaways of being tired. As always with all of my tutorials, I will link to all of the products that I use throughout the video in the video description below, so you can check that out if you're interested in any of the products I'm using. Now that my skin is all prepped and primed, I'm ready for the makeup. Trick number 1 is using an illuminating balm to mix in with your foundation or CC cream. I always prefer to err on the side of lighter foundation application, so I actually just use a tiny pump of CC cream, which you can see on my finger there. But then I use a couple pumps of this illuminating balm. As you can see on my hand, it's actually like a 1:2 ratio, so I only use 1 pump of the CC cream and then I use 2 pumps of the illuminating balm. This balm just has a really subtle glow to it, which helps kind of bounce the light off of your face, which is what we want if we want to look awake and young. Just mix those two together on my hand and apply it with my fingers, because I feel like when I apply it with my fingers, it just really gets into my skin, which helps minimize the creasing as the day goes on. Using my fingers also allows me to get into all of those kind of nitpicky areas on my face so that the product really becomes one with my skin. Trick number 2 is using 2 shades of concealer. I always use 2 shades of concealer when I'm doing my makeup because I like to use one lighter concealer that's in a shade pretty similar to my natural skin tone, and then I like to use a little tiny bit of a heavier concealer that's quite a bit lighter than my natural skin tone because it really combats those dark circles. So with the lighter concealer, I'm gonna go in pretty generously in all of the typical areas you want to cover up, obviously under your eye, around your nose, and if you're like me and have a lot of redness around your mouth, you're gonna want to cover those areas too. I do have some melasma on my forehead left over from pregnancy, thank you very much, so I'm gonna pop some concealer on those areas as well. Then again, I use my finger to blend that concealer in because I really do think that using your finger is the best way to marry the product with your skin, which allows you to avoid creasing throughout the day and just leaves you with a really nice natural finish. Hey! Then I'm gonna go in with my lighter concealer and just apply the tiniest bit to the back of my hand and soften the product with my finger because that just allows it to warm up a little bit and not be so thick when I'm applying it. I'm gonna apply it again with my finger to the areas that have a lot of darkness, which will give away how tired I am. So those are the spots that need the most help. Inner corner of my eye, underneath my eye, as well as the inner corner on my upper lid. I feel like that's always a giveaway when I'm really tired. I try to build my concealer in really thin layers. I can always add more if I need more coverage, but it doesn't end up looking too cakey. You can see the way the light is hitting the eye that has the 2 shades of concealer versus the eye that only has the 1 shade of concealer. It's so different. I pretty much look 1,000 times more awake right now, and I want to make sure that that lasts all day. So I'm going to set that concealer with a brightening powder, which is just a very thin setting powder just under my eyes and again on my lids. Wherever I put that really bright concealer is where I want to hit it. Then I actually also use my under eye brightening powder around my nose because I feel like that area gets darker throughout the day as my makeup wears off, and that just ages me a lot. So I like to put the brightening powder on those dark dark spots around my mouth and around my nose. Now that's actually pretty much all of the setting powder that I use most of the time, because I feel like when you set your makeup too much with powder, it ends up looking too matte, which again ages you. You really want to go for the glow when you're trying to look young and awake. If I'm feeling particularly oily, of course I will use a translucent powder on the rest of my face, but I try to avoid it when I can. Trick number 3 is using a light bronzer, lighter than you think you need. As you can see, the bronzer that I'm using today is actually not too far off my natural skin tone, but there's a reason for that. I feel like when you use darker shades of bronzer to contour and add color to your face, you are actually aging yourself. You want to contour and shape your face, but you don't want to add too many harsh lines, because I feel like that makes you look a lot older than you want to. Now that I've got some color back in my face, it's time to add a little bit more color with a fun cheek. Trick number 4 is using a bright, cool toned blush. You want to go brighter and you want to go slightly shimmery to again add that youthfulness to your look and make you look more fresh and awake. Normally I am drawn towards warmer tones when it comes to makeup, but I feel like using a bit of a cool tone, a cool pinky tone, will allow you to just look a little more fresh faced. This one is matte, so I'm actually going to go in and mix that color with this one right here, which is a highlighter, but it's a pink highlighter. So I'm going to mix those two shades to give me that luminizing look that I want, to add that glow to my skin, but give me that pop of color that I'm looking for. Trick number 5 is the obvious highlighting. Nothing says youth like a fresh glow, and the easiest way to get that dewy look is with a highlighter. I love a cream highlighter over a powdered highlighter because I feel like, again, you can use your finger for application, which just allows the product to really blend in with your skin. Also gonna add the highlighter to the inner corners of my eye because those are the spots that I really wanna catch the light and allow me to look more awake. Brows are an important part of every makeup look. They frame your face, so when they are done, it just really makes you look complete and awake. But I actually got mine microbladed a while ago, so I don't have to do that step at all. Microblading is the best thing that could have happened to my makeup routine. Taking that step out of the equation saves me so much time and gives me confidence when I'm wearing no makeup at all. If you want to see my video on getting my eyebrows microbladed, I will link to that somewhere on the screen now and down in the video description below. Trick number 6 is lining your upper waterline. I always like to line my upper waterline with either a dark brown or black shade of eye pencil that is going to stay all day. Doing this looks a lot scarier than it actually is, I swear. It's such a small detail, but it instantly makes you look more awake because it defines your eyes. Now I'm gonna go in with a black gel liner. The texture of this eye pencil is very different from the last one that I used because this one is very easy to blend. So I just draw a thin, messy line 3/4 of the way along my upper lash line, as close to the lash line as possible, and go out just a teeny bit at the end of my eye. Now I'm taking an angled brush and I'm just gonna soften the line that I made, which will help work out any kind of unevenness that I had going on with it. And you can take that line out as far or as little as you want. Once that's done, I just use my fingernail to make sure that the line is finishing in an upward direction. And then I use a softer brush to go in and blend everything I just did in an upward direction. In order to look awake and youthful, you want everything in an upward motion, and this is gonna help create that illusion. Because this is a day look, you can honestly leave it with no shadow at all. You can go in with a little bit of your light bronzer that you used on your face, or you can use a nice light taupey eyeshadow just to cut that crease a little bit and give you some definition. I tend to err on the upper side of my crease, so again, I'm just getting that lift that I want. Tip number 8 is using mascara on my upper lashes only. Obviously, before I apply any mascara at all, I'm gonna curl my lashes. Especially if you're trying to look awake and youthful, you want those lashes curled up. I'm blinking on purpose, by the way. That's how I like to apply my mascara recently. I don't know where I picked up that trick, but It really allows the mascara to get all over your lashes from the root to tip and fan out really nicely. The reason why I try to avoid putting mascara on my lower lashes when I am trying to look more awake or more youthful is because adding that dark color, especially on the inner corners, really drags everything down. And again, we're trying to have everything be lifted and open and bright. Now that my eyes are done, looking bright and awake and alert, I'm gonna finish off with my lips. Now, this isn't about looking awake at all, obviously, but it is about looking younger. Nothing says youth like a plump pout. Trick number 9 is faux lip injections. Get a lip liner that you love that is very close to your natural color. So I just overline the center of my bottom lip and my Cupid's bow, the center of my top lip. Then, just to make sure your lips are evenly defined, I keep in line with my natural lip line on the outer edges. Then once I'm happy with the lip line that I've created, I just again use my finger and I blend it towards the center of my lip so that it's not such a harsh line. To finish off my lip look, I'm using a tinted balm. This is just, again, really close to my natural color, but it gives me a little bit of freshness and a bit of a brighter pop on my lip while still remaining super hydrated, because you want that plump pout. You want everything to be hydrated. I love a matte lip, but it definitely does age you, and we are going for youth and freshness. And that's it. My top 10 tricks to make you look younger and more awake. I mean, if I was looking at me right now, I would be like, that woman just totally had a full night's sleep and is probably 18 years old, right? Okay, maybe that's a bit of a stretch, but I do feel like I look more youthful and 10 times more awake than I did when I started this video, and I hope you agree. If you do, then make sure you give the video a thumbs up, make sure you are subscribed to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one.